right, good evening. We'll get started. We'll call the meeting to order. We do have a quorum. We'll declare the meeting open. The first thing this evening, we're going to have a Tiers number 8 board meeting. So I'm going to turn that over to Deputy Mayor Josh Stevenson.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We'll call the meeting of Tiers 8 to order. That'll be myself, Councilman Marroquin, Councilman Dobbs, and Judge Dawson. First is citizen comments. Any citizen comments on anything that's on this agenda? No? Okay, moving on to C1.
Authorizing execution of a TERS at number 8 reimbursement agreement with Heritage Ranch Municipal Utility District number 1 of Preston County for the construction of public infrastructure within Sherman Tax Increment Reinvestment Zone number 8 in the city of Sherman.
Robert, can you tell us what this means?
Yes, I sure can have Mary tell you what that means.
So in 2021, the council the city entered into a master development agreement with the developer for Heritage Ranch Tax Increment Reinvestment Zone number 8. That's the residential part of Heritage Ranch. According to the master development agreement, we are to enter into a reimbursement agreement to reimburse the municipal utility district that's paying for the public improvements to that district. These are the improvements that the city would have done anyway, but they're going to be constructed as part of the developer's improvements.
Thank you, Mary. Anybody have any questions? I'll entertain a motion.
Motion, I move to approve.
Second. Motion and second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay, that passes. I have a motion to adjourn. Motion to adjourn. Motion second. We are adjourned. Mr. Mayor.
All right, thank you. All right, at this time, I'm going to ask Councilmember Henry Marroquin if he'll lead us in the pledge and invocation of thanksgiving. 4 minutes.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please bow your heads and pray. Dear Heavenly Father, first we thank you on behalf of all who have gathered here today. Thank you for life itself. Thank you for your many abundant blessings, and thank you for loving us. Help us to listen politely as others share their points of view. Give us unity of spirit, even if we have different opinions. Protect our families, friends, and first responders. This we ask in your name. Amen.
Amen.
All right, thank you, Henry. All right, council, at this time, we're going to look at the minutes. We've got 2 sets. We've got the regular city council meeting February 6th, and then, of course, we have the tax increment financing board number 2 of February 6th. So, everybody have an opportunity to review these minutes.
Move to approve.
Second.
Okay, got a motion, a couple of seconds, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries, thank you. All right, we are to citizens' comments. Is there anyone here to address the council for any item on the agenda this evening? Okay. Now, we'll move on to the consent agenda. These items are considered to be routine and will be enacted in one motion without discussion unless the council member or citizen requests a specific item be discussed and voted on separately. Consent agenda includes items E4, E5, and H5. Would anybody like these broken apart for any reason?
I'll move for approval of the consent agenda.
Second.
Okay, motion second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Consent is approved. Thank you, council. All right, at this time, we'll open the public hearing. Linda, if you'll read D1 for us, please.
Ordinance 6567, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Sherman amending Chapter 9 of the Code of Ordinances entitled Personnel, Article 9.05, entitled Civil Service for Firefighters and Police Officers, at Section 9.05.026, entitled Authorized Number of Positions, to revise the number of authorized positions in the fire department.
Okay, thank you, Linda. Chief, good evening.
Good evening, Mayor. Doing some few small changes, making the org chart more typical. Just some changes of names, not any addition or subtraction of personnel. Just addition of subtraction of an assistant chief, addition of 2 battalion chief spots. Just moving the rank structure around a bit. I would request that this not be effective until resolution 6929 is approved, and that would be at the next meeting.
This one deals with the actual structure. 6929 deals with setting pay for each of those structures. So kind of go hand in hand, but need to be effective at the same time.
Okay. All right, thank you, Chief. Is there anyone here to address this item this evening? Okay. Well, we'll move on to D2. Linda, will you read D2 and D3 together, please?
Ordinance 6568, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Sherman abandoning one 20-foot water easement located in the proposed plat of estates at Baker Park and being more particularly described in the Exhibit A attached hereto and made a part hereof for all purposes. Ordinance 6569, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Sherman abandoning one 20-foot utility easement for city water and sewer located in the proposed plat of Washington Meadows Phase 2 and being more particularly described in the Exhibit A attached hereto and made a part hereof for all purposes.
Okay, is that both of them?
Yes.
Okay. Clint?
So both of these involve abandonment of water line easements. The water lines were installed prior to both developments actually developing into single-family residential. Through the engineering process, they relocated the lines, dedicated new easements, and this is the last piece of the process, which is to get rid of where the old line was for abandonment.
Okay, thank you, Clint. Is there anyone here to address these two items this evening? If not, I will close public hearing. Consider adoption of ordinances. Council, questions, discussion items?
I'll make a motion to approve if there's no question, 65, 68, 65, 69. We're going to wait on 65, 67.
Yeah, with just some special language from the
Yeah, I'll second 65, 68, and 65, 69.
Okay. The motion is second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
And with that, I will move to approve 65, 67 with an effective date that's the date corresponding to civil service resolution setting compensation rate as adopted by City Council.
Second.
Okay, got a motion and a second on that one. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Council. All right, we are to resolution E1. Linda, will you read this for us, please?
Resolution 7033, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Sherman authorizing execution of the TERS No. 8 reimbursement agreement with Heritage Ranch Municipal Utility District No. 1 of Grayson County for the construction of public infrastructure with Sherman Tax Increment Reinvestment Zone No. 8 in the City of Sherman.
Thank you, Linda. Mary?
Yes, this is the same agreement that was just approved by the TERS No. 8 board that calls for reimbursement for just the public part of the infrastructure going in that development.
Okay, thank you, Mary. Council, questions, discussion on this item?
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you.
Abstain.
Okay, and one abstention. Very good. Thank you, Sean. All right, Linda, if you'll read E2 for us, please.
Resolution 7034, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Sherman authorizing execution of a professional services agreement with Bureau Veritas for the plan, review, and building inspection services for the Global Wafers Project.
Thank you, Linda. Rob?
Yeah, Mayor, Council, this item is to set up an agreement with the City of Sherman and Bureau Veritas to handle inspection, plan review, and building inspections, including fire inspections for the Global Wafers Project. This fee will not technically be paid by the City of Sherman. Global Wafers has agreed to pay this fee in lieu of their building permit fee.
Okay. Thank you, Rob. Council, questions on this item?
Mr. Mayor, I move that we approve 7034.
Second. Motion second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carries. Thank you, Council. Linda, if you'll read E3 for us, please.
Resolution 7035, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Sherman authorizing execution of Amendment No. 1 to the professional services agreement with Friesen Nichols Incorporated for the design of the Lake Texoma Pump Station Expansion Preliminary Design Project.
Thank you, Linda. Tom, good evening.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Okay, so in May of 2022, this last year, City Council authorized execution with Freeze Nichols Engineers. They did the preliminary design for this. In that process of that, they looked up the various pump sizes and come up with different options and made a proposal for what was probably the most optimal solution. That's been completed, and we would like to now move forward to final design that would prepare contract documents suitable for bidding. So with council approval, we will go ahead and execute this agreement and move forward.
Okay, council, any questions regarding this important project?
Move to approve. Second.
Motion is second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries, thank you.
Thank you all.
All right, we have a request to advertise sale of approximately 0.9 acres of land located at 1400 West Taylor Street.
Yeah, the city has this land. It's not currently being utilized. It's in front of where the old Anderson farm was, and staff recommends to post this parcel for sale.
Have some questions about this little parcel? It's that triangle there. Across from
Anderson Ford.
Yeah, it was in front of this building.
The snow cone stand.
Now, the snow cone stand was
A little further down.
east.
I guess if we never go about it, we're going
Who was the motion, please?
Josh.
Josh, second?
Motion is second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries, thank you, council. All right, moving to G1, change order number 3, Northwest Sewer and Force Main Project, Vessels Construction LLC, $33,613.93 increase. Tell us about this.
Thank you. So this is our third change order on this particular project. If you remember, the first one was to adjust for material issues. The second one added some demolition work and relocation of storm sewer that was revealed. This one here is out on the end of Roberts Run. It's a little hard to see. It's on the south end, the bottom of that map. Yeah, well to the right of it, right in there, those places. And so the existing sewer, which we didn't have those existing record drawings, there was a lot of unknowns in there. And so it was found to be deeper than where we're at. And so this change order would pick those services up. Approximately 6 customers that will be on the future line right through there. We didn't have to add any manholes. It's just we can relocate a few manholes. And so basically it's some additional sewer line.
And that wasn't a part of the original scope. Those 6 customers wouldn't have been included otherwise.
The original project was just tying to an existing sewer line. The existing sewer line was deeper than expected. If the contractor had, or if the city or the design engineer had went through with subsurface utility, it would have just cost us more to find them out then. So let the contractor find them out now is just another effective way.
Move to approve.
Second.
Okay, motion is second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries, thank you, Carl. All right, we're now going to receive an update on Leadership Sherman's class project. I see the chambers here in full force. I want to come tell us about this year's Leadership Sherman class.
This looks like a P&Z meeting. There's so many people.
Hey, Wendy.
More. Good. How you
You're welcome.
So, Dawn, Wendy, Joey, Paul. Most of you, I think I know most of you. Anyways, I am over Grid Central Station, in case you guys didn't know that, I'm executive director over there. And Leadership Sherman has proposed that we do our leadership project at that site. I don't have any PowerPoint for you or anything, but I do have some copies of stuff. Anyways, what we're proposing, we're going to be doing is for those that don't know what we do, we provide a hot breakfast and a hot lunch for those in need. Anybody can come and eat, there's no qualifications, but we serve about anywhere from 160 to 180 people at lunch alone, and around 75 to 85 for breakfast. And those are 80% elderly that are on fixed income, and because of the price of food and the price of everything, they come to us for food. Right outside, we own 3 of the 4 lots over there. It's on the corner of Houston and Throckmorton. Our old facility was on Throckmorton at 110 Throckmorton, which is now our storage. We use it for our capacity of whatever we have. And we have a picnic area. Last year, a church donated us 5 picnic tables. We had a mission group come in, they painted all the tables, there's an awning out there, and we're gonna revamp the awning to make it a little bit more accessible. We're gonna put a new pad out there, and we're gonna make the pergola a little bit bigger, and on the side, we're gonna have a mural, and it's gonna have the Leadership Sherman mural on the side. That way people driving down Houston will be able to see that this was provided by the Leadership Sherman class. It will be open, so it's not being closed for safety purposes, obviously. It will be a lit facility. We have a gentleman that's going to be providing solar power, correct? So we'll be doing solar power out there, so it won't be at any cost as far as electricity goes and all that. And that's it. You want to talk more about it?
Yeah, just briefly, going into this, obviously there's a lot of wonderful charitable organizations in this area. Grand Central Station, I think, is just something we're passionate about. And obviously, having one of our own class members, Wendy, working there, it's something we wanted to give to it. Just if you've ever spent any time volunteering at Grand Central Station, people aren't just coming for a meal there. There's a lot of places where they can get food. They're waking up in the morning, and that's their sense of community. They know that is one place, that's a reason they're getting out of bed in the morning. If I don't get lunch, at Grand Central Station, people notice I'm not there. There's a guy that I graduated with named Jason Green, and every time I see him in there, he's telling Wendy if he's now got his green belt in karate. There's a lot of neat things that happen there. And so seeing kind of what they had set up out there with the canopies, and I'm sure there's different people that they just don't like being inside. It doesn't matter if it's 30 degrees outside; they want to be outside. So it was just something we looked at and thought, we can provide a really nice area here for them to congregate in, to eat in, and to spend time in each day. So we're excited to go forward with the project. Jim, you want to talk about fundraising?
Yeah. Projected project, we have it all contracted out in bids. Should cost us about $23,000. We do have a goal to raise $25,000 through sponsorships. Kind of give ourselves a buffer there in case costs go over, and anything extra we can, donate to the Grand Central Station for food or anything like that. But $23,000 is our goal for cost.
Awesome. And if anybody ever wants to come down there and get a tour, I'm here 5 days a week, and I'd love to show off our facility, because our facility is a $1.2 million facility that they did on a capital campaign, and it was all raised through funding through our community and donors and stuff like that. And so we have a lot of support from Sherman, and it's just amazing we have going on down there.
Great. Well, this is an exciting project.
Yeah.
If anyone knows anyone that would like to sponsor.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Just a reminder, Council, Leadership Sherman has done projects all over Sherman that are just fantastic. So thank you for your commitment to our community, and really just a big thank you from City Hall. All right. This time we've got a presentation from Fire Department Captain Mason Beekman, Paramedic School. Oh, looks like you're on your own. Looks like the chief is sending you out on your own.
You'll probably all wonder why I'm gathered here today. So I just want to be able to let everyone know what we're doing. This work back? Do I know this work?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Okay, so I just want to give you guys an update on what we're doing at Paramedic School. trying to figure out a way to increase our numbers of paramedics rapidly and increase our retention and decrease the amount of money that the city pays. So right now, we're currently sending 2 guys to Gracie County College for their paramedic school. What they do is they're actually completely off shift, so we don't ever see them. This is a year-long program. And right now, unfortunately, due to our staffing, this is causing overtime every shift. So it's, like I said, it's 12-month program. It's costing overtime every shift. It's affecting every pay period of the year. I mean, it's just what it is. So based on an average of, so right now the way we hire overtime, anybody from a firefighter, EMT to a battalion chief paramedic can work overtime in that slot. So we took a calculation and assigned the else, it's like $46.50 an hour. We spent about $100,000 to cover 1 student for 1 year in overtime. So it's actually north of that, to give the exact number. But in addition to that, that guy also misses 1 complete year working with this crew, being with us, losing touch with our culture, that kind of stuff. So what we found is it's called PERCOM. It's an online school, and what we're going to do is we've signed up 60 guys. So all their classroom time is going to be online. So they get to stay on shift. So they come to work every 3rd day like normal. We don't take them off their shift. They get to work with their crews every day, or every 3rd day, and then. So what that does is that reduces that overtime need immediately for their spot. So they're still working their spot. There is 720 hours of skills, hospital rotations, ambulance tryouts, all that kind of stuff that will possibly require some overtime. Okay, we're asking them to do their ambulance tryouts on their shift. So if staffing allows, we might not have to hire somebody to cover for that day. Their ambulance or their hospital rotations. And skills days, unfortunately, they're going to have to be off-shift days, and we'll have to pay those guys that. But the cool thing about that is that's the cheapest overtime rate that the fire department has right now is the firefighter AT level. We're not paying a battalion chief to work those hours for those guys. So they're going to be doing 636 hours in hospital and ambulance. So these two here at the bottom are going to be their ambulance rotations. These 2 are flexible. They might end up not costing us any overtime. The emergency room, the OB, the OR, and the respiratory, we're going to have to pay those guys overtime for them because we're telling them, hey, you got to go to the hospital on this day, be here for this many hours. But like I said, this is the cheapest overtime rate for the program. So how that benefits us immediately, it's going to immediately reduce the number of overtime hours required to make the department run. Okay. We'll be able to increase our numbers a lot quicker. So our medical director, Dr. Frame, is one of the medical directors for this school. It's technically a 20-month program, but we're getting paid for by the state, and they require it to be done within 12 months. And our Dr. Frame believes we haven't done anywhere from 8 to 10 months. So this is going to be a quick turnaround on these guys. It's going to be a lot of work on the guys, but it's going to be a quick turnaround for the city. Right now, we got 17 EMT basic that we would be trying to be sent to school 2 for a year. It's going to take over 7 years to get us caught up to our paramedic staffing level. What we want to have is we're an ALS department. We want to have paramedics, firefighter paramedics on every ambulance. We want all of our firefighters to be a paramedic. All our engineers are, all our captains are, all the battalion chiefs, division chiefs, everybody else is. We got to get these guys caught up. So right now we're going to send 6 guys. So we're going to send, we'll have 6 new paramedics within 12 months, okay? I asked them to come tonight. There was a couple of them here that were on shift and they got fired, so you gotta keep them in mind. So after that though, our Dr. Frank, medical director, so he recommends after about 6 months, we start another group of 6. So within 12 months, within 12 months, we're going to have 6, 18 months, we're going to have 12. Keep on compounding that on the map, and you'll see how quick we're going to be putting guys to work. So right now, we're costing over $100,000 a year per man in overtime. A lot of guys are having to work 48-hour shifts. A lot of times it's mandatory overtime. There are some guys that are money hungry and they want to work a lot, and that's fine. but it is causing some guys that do not want to work 48s to have to work 48s. These guys are going to get to remain on shift. Cool thing about that also is, hey, the whole department's pretty much fixing to be going back to paramedic school. Because we expect all of our crew members to, hey, you're gonna help this guy. If he needs help studying on pharmacology, you're gonna help with pharmacology. If he needs help with reading EKGs, you're gonna help him read EKGs. So the cool thing, each of these members that was going to PERCOM will save the city at least $100,000 in overtime per guy per year. So I can give you guys the breakdown, the action number breakdown at a different point, just more on that. So I'd like to thank Mr. Chad Dooley who set up. So this is one of our guys. He's one of the guys that's going to be doing this. The other guys are Walker Kemp, Ben Williams, Dixon Trail, Andrew Morale, and Aaron Alvarado. Those guys get back in time. But so this is this is wrong one. This is where we're moving. Going forward, hopefully if this program works out great, we're going to have a lot of brand new paramedics in a very short amount of time and save a lot more.
Hey, I want to just brag on Mason and the department. This wasn't a top-down, hey, why don't you go look at this? They came to city management saying, hey, we're looking at this. We think it could work out well. We haven't tried it before. We're willing to try it. I was all about them thinking outside the box and doing this. So
I can't take credit for it. These guys came to me. They saw the need. They're like, hey, we understand we need to go to school. We see that these guys are going off. I mean, they're off for a year and losing touch with just the brotherhood. And so some of them had come, hey, we need a sponsor. We need you guys to sponsor us. And so we got looking into it a little bit more and figured out that the city of Sherman, believe it or not, qualifies as an underserved area through state funding. So the state's actually paying for the school itself. So, but don't get too happy because Plano is considered underserved. So, it's a very loose term apparently.
But they've done a good job. Like the point there is we've got line level guys coming up with great ideas about how to do their business more effectively, more efficiently, get boots on the ground quicker. So I think it's a great program. And what we'd like to do periodically is maybe every 6 months, come back and give an update. Hey, here's how the program's working, the good, the bad, the ugly. I expect it, on paper, it is a home run, I believe. So we just want to report back to you about how the actual process is working and have Mason or whoever come back and just give us updates.
Yeah, next time I'll let one of these guys that's actually doing the work come do it. I mean, all I'm doing is make a couple of phone calls and send them.
I will say we got to witness firsthand the response time here. Right before the meeting, that call came in. You guys were bebopping up here, hanging out, and then they zipped back across there. We were all sitting there with our clocks going, dang, 3 minutes. Dressed and gone. So very impressive. We all watched the whole thing take place.
Hey, in that area of land you're looking at, remember where the haunted house?
Mm-hmm.
That's where that little area is.
Oh, okay, I had to figure that out.
I just out of curiosity, because I know the citizens will ask, what cities have used this program before?
Oh, okay. So the city of Frisco, they sent a bunch of guys. Dallas Fire Rescue had, which we don't compare it to at all, but they had like 15 guys going through the program, and they were on pace to finish in 8 months. So now, obviously, Dallas Fire Rescue, they can say, hey, you're hired, and guess what? You're not doing anything but doing this program for 8 months. But so, but our like I said, our medical director, Dr. Frank, he's very, very confident that these guys can get it done within 8 to 10 month period. The really cool thing about this program is it's got an 85% pass rate on the first test for this. So this is not passing the class, passing the national registry. So the actual, hey, you're now a paramedic. Good job, go do your thing. 85% on the first attempt, 95% on the second attempt. The national average is 72%. So even though this is an online program, a lot of these guys, myself included, really apprehensive about doing some online learning, and the pass rate on this class is really high. And then with our medical director being involved, he is one of the medical directors. He's agreed to meet with guys every other week. Every 2 weeks. Meet with the guys every 2 weeks, hold a study session out at our training center out on Frisco Road, and help walk these guys right through this. They'll be doing their hospital rotations at Wilson and Jones, and he's one of the ER physicians at Wilson and Jones. So
That sounds wonderful. Thank you.
It's a great program.
Yeah. Thanks for stepping up, Chad, for being able to do that.
Thank you.
Big report.
All right.
We got a cool video, guys. You all
All right, at this time, we'll receive an update on the City of Sherman's ongoing projects.
Thank you, good evening. They didn't want to hear me talk.
Really, your stay for the end of the meeting.
Way to clear up.
It is 5 Balloon 1, Sherman's 5 Balloon 1. Mr. Mayor, Council, it's wonderful to see you all tonight, this evening. We have our quarterly drone update tonight. And before we got started, I wanted to point out, since this is a point of council meeting, right here in front of the police station, there will be 2 spots reserved for online pickup of any sort of transaction you need to transact. So it's already in the works.
Legal. Legal transaction.
Hey, we hope.
So this will be our final look at Sherman Police Headquarters before it is opened up. The plan right now is to open that building on March 13th. That'll be kind of the first day when power will transfer from one location to the other, with a community grand opening at the end of March. So very exciting to finally have that project come to a conclusion. This is our first ever look at the Global Wafers campus. As you can see, they are currently into the dirt work portion of the process. Kind of basically doing the same thing that TI was doing for much of the last year, just picking up dirt from one side and moving it to the other side to try and make a nice big flat area. But it is kind of neat to see the scale of it from above. Really hard for 1417 to appreciate just how much land this is and how far back it goes. It's a very large piece of property, so it's good to see that finally under construction. Our first of many updates on that, of course. Moore Street. I don't know when our last update will be on Moore Street, but it's not tonight. We have had, as you guys have been following along, all sorts of problems with utility relocation on this project, keeping us from getting that last portion, that last little bit that you saw right there by 1417 completed. But that work is ongoing. The engineers are trying to figure out the last piece of that puzzle to get the whole thing opened up. So we don't have a hard and fast date for you yet, but as you can see, it's all done except for finishing, so that's good. All right, do we want to cover the lights? I don't know if you can see it. Maybe it's not a big deal. This is Pebblebrook Phase 4. So we're flying over to Pebblebrook Phase 3 into Phase 4. The road that will come all the way here will connect up. Go watch right there. So that will make the through connection all the way between Moore Street and 1417. I wanted to point out the detention pond here. That will become part of a city park after the construction is done. If you've been out there and seen it, it's a really large pond, larger than the one that they currently have, I believe. And then, so we got about 135 houses in that development, already laid out really nicely. The Grove, about another 200 houses. This has seen the most change since our last update 3 months ago. As you can see, they're putting them up hot and heavy out there. I wanted to also point out that the apartment complex looks the same, but this was all that was completed last time we looked. So all these areas in the back, this has all been added on since the last time we looked. And as you can see, they are not quite there yet, but they are getting very close to those being done. One of the larger complexes in Sherman. And then I understand we are actually applying for a TxDOT grant to hopefully fund the construction of a paved trail along the creek there going into Herbert Baker Park. And we feel like we should know if we're going to be able to shortlist by, I think you said May. And then at that point, we'll be able to decide where to pull those funds for. I'll just go back a little bit. So that would be an 80-20 match on that grant, so the city would have to pick up 20% of the cost with TxDOT covering the other 80%. Wanted to point out our bridge here, as it's getting closer to completion, and by completion I mean the traffic will move over there. Once they shift the traffic from the old bridge over here onto the new bridge, they will demolish the old bridge, and then they'll basically just widen the new bridge that you see there. So it will stay one-lane traffic even after traffic is moved over, so that they can make that a final width. I think Clint said it was 45.
That's Travis Street, right?
What did I say?
I don't know.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's a nice looking bridge.
This is not just to remember to put one on more. South Travis Street. So here's a nice look at South Travis Street, where our bridge is being 100-year-old bridge being replaced by TxDOT. And now we're going to flip around quickly to get a look at the work that's been done on Travis Heights, which is a 400-house housing development. As you can see, they've already done the most important part of any housing development, which is tearing out all the trees and then naming the streets after them. Nice, courtesy laugh. So that project has had some movement since the last time we looked. We haven't looked at that one in a couple months, but they did get all that clearing done, so I wanted to update you there. And then, of course, everybody's favorite crown jewel of Southern Sherman, the Bel Air project. All sorts of different houses going up. I understand that since the last time we all talked, they have officially moved in their first residence at Bel Air. So it is officially a real, actual housing development with people living there now, including, I'm told, maybe sometime soon, our own police chief. So that will be exciting. Luella Crossing is laid out here. As you can see, the work that they've done. Last time we looked at it, they had just kind of started to stir the dirt. Made a lot of progress since then. And I wanted to give you just one more look at how Bel Air is coming along with the park and the dog park there in the middle. The townhouses there on the top of the screen, and then on the single family all the way around. Another 700 houses going in down there, if you can see them. This is 75 and 82. Here is we're looking eastbound. This is the new ramp that should be open hopefully mid-March, TxDOT thinks. They closed our old ramp, the little suicide ramp up here. They closed that a couple weeks ago. We're working on finalizing this connection, and they say hopefully mid-March. The world's most useless turnaround bridges that still don't have a connection. We've talked a lot about those. It'll be nice whenever they get around to working on that. The new ramp's coming in on here. And then I wanted to give you a view. This is kind of the most exciting part. Don't worry about that. It hits it with a real strong crosswind when I'm turning. It'll freak you out for a minute. But I wanted to give you guys a look at what the final layout here is going to look like. This is all new since last time. How they're creating the first ever free new Lambert exit right there. So you won't have to go through the lights to get off of Lambert. And then TxDOT lets you connect that then with an on-ramp here right before you actually get to the street itself. So that's exciting. They really have made quite a bit of progress on that little piece of it. Next, we're going to go over to 1417. We won't spend much time on it, just like TxDOT, but wanted you to see here whatever they've done in the last 3 months. I honestly couldn't tell you, but it is still looking like half of the road, which is good. Sidewalks, we always like to point out. We get so many complaints that we don't have enough sidewalks in town, so I really love that we decided to include that on all these new road projects that we're doing. There, of course, will be the McGee Street connection that we've talked about on a number of different occasions. Still just mostly pushing the dirt around, not a ton of new information here. Washington Street, I saw on the west side of the Washington Street intersection. I saw on TxDOT's report last week that they think probably another 3 weeks there before that's finally opened up. So there is work being done, even if it could have fooled me. And then as we head into Grayson County airspace, where I can no longer fly the drone, that's when you'll know when the video ends, is right when I hit Grayson County airspace.
Stop flying, obviously.
What's that? Well, I don't have a choice. Yeah, it forces me to stop. Yeah, I mean, you can see that there as the final portion of the project there on the north side, which is tying into Highway 82. No completion on that until 2024. So we've still got a long time with TxDOT not working on that to go before it's done. Here is our latest look at the GAP project. Lots has been done on this since 3 months ago. I really like this view of it. It really gives you a good idea of how the whole thing is going to look when it's all said and done. It's really kind of getting to that point where you can really start to visualize the portions that are done in dirt. You'll see another large portion at the north side of the project versus on the south side. We should hopefully have Lamar and Houston crossings open sometime around the 4th of July, maybe, depending on the weather. I know our downtown Sherman businesses are sure excited for that to happen. And you see here, this is kind of neat because the way that we're flying, you actually kind of get to see the process of building the road, of laying out, the underlayment here, and then the rebar, and then the final paving as they move that closer and closer to the south. And then we flew all the way up here to the north side of the project. There's Washington Street, we won't talk about that. But I did want to mention that the problems on Washington Street, which of course are caused by the closure of Travis Street, which you'll see here that they've done quite a bit on. TxDOT's latest estimates on the reopening of that will be, again, middle of March. So hopefully 3 or so weeks away from that bridge being reopened and everyone's life coming back to somewhere closer to normal than it is
Didn't they
today.
originally say 5 weeks?
They did, yes.
It's 5 weeks today.
I'm really glad you remembered that, that's why.
So they underestimated the time. Okay.
Yeah.
We knew that was gonna happen.
But here you can see the work that they've done there. Actually, well, that has been closed. They're getting closer, but yeah, it is not gonna be 5 weeks. I also wondered why they could build this bridge and not close down Texamo Parkway. They couldn't do that on Travis Street. I don't know the answer for that, but inquiring minds would like to know. And I think that will do it for us today. We do have video on Texas Instruments for y'all, but due to concerns that Texas Instruments has raised with us about meeting for executive session, so. And that's it, unless you guys have any other questions.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Nate. Thanks, Nate. Travis Street's supposed to open 3 more weeks.
All right, we are to page 4, discuss and consider approval of the budget calendar for fiscal year 2023-2024.
Yes, so this is our annual look at setting our schedules for this work plan development for next year. So you should receive, as part of this, the proposals. The 3 really to look at are the first 3 meetings. The budget planning meeting, which is currently reflected for April 20th. The capital improvement work session, which is currently scheduled for May 25th. And then the workshop, we mark out 2 days for that, June 15th and 16th, which are Thursday and Friday. And so I guess what we need to know now, and then the others below that are just regularly scheduled council meetings. So we need to know if April 20th, May 25th, and June 15th or 16th are problems for any of your calendars.
Looks good for me.
Justin, how's it look? You good? Okay. Okay, so, yeah, if you would, just by motion.
Need a motion?
Need a motion.
Second.
Okay, motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Thanks, Lee.
All right, we are to council comment. Justin, I'm gonna start with you tonight.
No comments tonight, thank you.
Okay?
No questions now.
Okay?
No comment.
None for me, Mr. Mayor.
I would like to make one comment about the presentation from the fire department today, and also some of the restructuring of the staff at the fire department. I just appreciate our department heads looking at those opportunities to save the city money, to make it more efficient. The guys being able to take that paramedic school while at work, like they said, it's a tremendous savings to the taxpayers. And I know they greatly appreciate it, but I just appreciate it. It seems like every department head brought something like that to us over the last year or so. So it's nice to hear those kind of things coming out of our departments. We appreciate it.
No comments from me.
All right. So the city council will now hold a closed executive session pursuant to the Texas Open Meetings Act, section 551.087, to discuss the Sherman Hospital project, and 551.076 to discuss agenda items 3. So at 5:47, we'll recess into executive session.